to a brand new episode of Coming Distractions brought to you by the Nerdpocalypse podcast. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Carrie.
What's up?
All right, guys, let's talk about Pokemon Detective Pikachu. Carrie, you are obviously the anime person in this network. You are the biggest Pokemon person I know. You have Pokemon tattoos.
I do, and plans for more.
Okay. I do not, quiet as it's kept, I don't have, I haven't gotten my Pikachu full back tattoo done yet. So we made the hard choice of sending you to see this movie. What is the general premise of this film, and what are your thoughts on it?
So this is based on the Nintendo 3DS game, Detective Pikachu, and it follows roughly the main plot of that game. It ignores a lot of the side stuff, but it follows the main plot in so much that you follow Tim Goodman, who they aged up a little bit. In the game, he's like a teenager. In this film, he's 21 years old. He's a failed Pokemon trainer. He's somewhat estranged from his father following the death of his mother. He's living out sort of in the countryside, and he gets word that there's been an incident and his father has been declared deceased.
Okay. And that Tim Goodman is played by Justice Smith.
Yes.
Okay.
And so he hops on the train and goes into Ryme City, which is this bustling utopia metropolis where humans and Pokemon live in harmony and whatnot.
Okay.
And he goes back to his dad's apartment, and there he meets Pikachu, his father's old partner.
Okay.
And he finds that he can understand what Pikachu is trying to tell him.
Okay.
Whereas everybody else just hears Pika Pika.
Right. Obviously.
And Pikachu believes that his father is not actually dead, that he was onto something, and that someone has basically orchestrated this death, this disappearance. And so they try to uncover what actually happened.
The mystery.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Seems like a pretty straightforward story.
Yeah, it's a pretty straightforward mystery. You got some good twists and turns in there. Tim meets a reporter, Lucy Stevens, who is sort of like his lead on what his father was investigating and whatnot.
Okay.
And yeah, it's good.
So, okay. Before we get into like your deep Pokemon views on this, the trailer, I think, shocked a lot of people in how good it looked.
Yes.
Like how good and realistic, but also respectful of the anime. Mm-hmm. The Pikachu or the Pokemon characters actually looked.
Yeah.
Does that hold up in the movie,
or
is it just like, hey, trailer coolness?
It really does hold up. Like everything looks very natural. It was I was 8 years old when Pokemon came out in the US. So right at the prime age to get sucked into it for life. And I was like a little almost
That's funny.
Emotionally overwhelmed just by how good everything did look. Like, God, of course Pikachu would have fur like that. Like, of course Magikarp would look sort of mucusy out of water because it's a fish. Like, of course Lickitung would have that, like, slimy texture about it. Like, of course, like, that's obvious. Obviously it would look like that. But it's not until it was, like, presented to me on screen in reality that I was just like, holy, like, it's real, like, it looks real, it's so well done.
That's the thing. I'm not a Pokemon person, but the way how well it's blended with, like, how well they're blended with real human beings is actually quite impressive. It's
impressive, even taking Pokemon out of the equation. The fact that you have so many humans interacting with so many Pokemon when none of the Pokemon were, like, really there during filming. Like, maybe you had a tape mark or a piece of cardboard or something like that,
or a dude standing in.
Right.
Okay, so overall, what did you think of the movie in and of itself, and what did you think of Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu?
The movie in and of itself, I thought, was really well done. Like, it's true to the source material of the game Detective Pikachu. It's true to the source material of the Pokemon franchise at large. A lot of good gags. There's a lot of good sort of, like, because ultimately it's a kids movie. It's rated PG. It's a Pokemon film. Sure. Obviously, it's for kids. So you've got a good amount of, like, sort of, like, baseline level, like, family-friendly jokes. Then you have the sort of, like, next level, like this might fly over some kids' heads sort of humor. The plot isn't anything, like, for the most part, you're going to see the twists coming if you're an adult, but, you know, even if you can tell where the turns are coming from, you're still going to enjoy the ride regardless. It's really well done. It's good for existing fans, and it's good for non-fans. So.
Okay, so you could jump in totally blind and watch this movie.
Sure.
Okay. Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu is great. He seems to like actually care a lot. Like he's of.
Do you know if he's a Pokemon fan?
I think his kids are.
Oh, okay. And that can go a long way.
It can. So I mean, there's a lot of emotion, and like they did mocap his face just for the sake of then putting the facial expressions.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. That's
onto
interesting.
Pikachu. Yeah.
Nice.
So Pikachu is very expressive. I thought Justice Smith was also really good.
That's good, because the last movie I saw him, he was really not good.
Was that Jurassic?
That was Jurassic World, and he was horrible. But I didn't think that was him necessarily. Yeah. But
and this is the first time I think he's been in like a starring role in a big time motion picture. Yeah,
he was on the Netflix series, The Get Down, where he was a pretty big character. But yeah, I think this is his first starring role as a film.
Yeah. So I mean, he was good. Catherine Newton, who's sort of the female lead in the film, was also good. I think they both sort of have these moments of like overacting in certain scenes.
Sure.
But for the most part, they were acceptable.
Okay.
I think Justice Smith is like sort of on the precipice of becoming like a big deal, and this might be the sort of thing that like
I can see that
gets the ball rolling for him to get more large roles and whatnot.
Yeah, he feels like this guy is definitely going to be a star in a movie or two. Mm-hmm. All right, that's cool. That's good to know. Also, I have one question, which is, I think, highly important. Are there any really good Pokemon fights?
Yeah, there's a lot of good action.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm here for that.
Yeah.
Because I kind of want to see like a Pikachu versus a Mewtwo or whatever. I want to see that. All right, that's cool. Because I feel like I mean, I know that the Pokemon story is general. Oh, you know, you catch a lightning rat, and you know you get a Diglett or whatever.
You got to catch them all. You get all 8 badges. You go defeat the Elite Four. You become the champion. Yeah, this is not that.
Right, but I do feel like you would be doing this series a disservice if you didn't have a couple of good fights.
Yeah, there's a couple of really good fights. I mean, they incorporated a lot of Pokemon that I would not have sort of thought to incorporate, because like they're not popular. So they used this Pokemon called Loudred, who's like a mid-evolution of this sound-based Pokemon. Okay. So they use Loudred as basically like amplifiers, like in the middle of this underground Pokemon battle. And like you can see that they're the ones sort of like making this dubstep noise on their own, and like it's really cool. It's hard to explain. Like you just sort of have to go see it.
Okay.
But like the way that they utilize a lot of Pokemon and how they animate, how certain creatures move, it's one of those things where it's like you watch and you're like, oh, of course that would move that way just because of the way it's designed. But the way that they animated it, clearly based on real life animals, so it all looks very natural.
Nice. That's good. That's cool to hear.
Yeah.
Final question, and then we'll get out of here. Is Pokemon Detective Pikachu the best video game movie?
Easy.
Yeah. Okay.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Okay.
It is the best Hollywood adaptation of a video game ever. Apparently they've already started talking about a sequel, of course. I'm just like, cool, yeah. I'm here. It's
the thing is, like, do you even do another Detective Pikachu, or do you just do a general Pokemon movie?
I think, by adapting a side game like this, you can sort of, that they took a number of creative liberties with, obviously, but you can either do a different side game, or you can do something wholly original.
Yeah.
The fact that they were able to take an existing story in the Pokemon franchise, be so faithful to it, be so respectful of the source material, and have it be good for American audiences, for worldwide audiences.
No, I think this is going to hit like gangbusters worldwide.
Yeah. I mean, I think it opens them up to potentially do more original content based on the franchise down the road.
All right.
So
if you have to give a score out of 5?
4.
4. Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, solidly good. It's just like some moments of overacting and just sort of like, all right, like I saw all of the big twists coming and whatnot. Like I figured it out. But yeah,
well, there you
super
go.
Good. Definitely go see it.
All right, there you go. 4 out of 5 for Pokemon Detective Pikachu, and we will see you guys next time.
Thanks.
Bye. You're watching the Nerdpocalypse YouTube channel. Make sure you click that button to subscribe and check out our weekly podcast where we talk about movie, TV, news, tech, and weird stories from around the internet.